My boyfriend thinks I'm cheating on him with Moist Oven because I live in Tampa and watched his videos to fall asleep, and now he's vanished for 16 hours and says I need a break because I don't stare at him like I do to streamers. So, for context, I'm 18 and my boyfriend is 27. Yeah, I know. Some people already side-eye that. But when I met him, it didn't feel weird. He was charming, mature, and gave me a sense of security I hadn't really felt before. I moved to Tampa about 6 months ago on my own, a fresh start, and met him shortly after. We've been dating for around 4 months now, and he moved in with me about 2 months ago. Things were sweet at the start, those early honeymoon phases where it's just binge-watching stuff on Twitch, ordering food, laughing at the same dumb memes. We bonded over content creators, especially streamers. We'd sit on the couch for hours watching big names and discovering small, under-the-radar streamers no one talks about. It was something easy and light, a comfort. But lately, things feel heavier. My boyfriend has been spending more nights out. He says he's networking, trying to make friends. He'll be gone for 10, sometimes 12 hours, no text, no check-in. Just disappears. Then he'll pop in with a photo of him and some guys at a bar or say something like, "Met a guy from work, just talking." I try not to push too hard because I want to trust him. But the silence gnaws at me. I've brought it up. He says I'm being too sensitive. Meanwhile, he won't let me go out clubbing. His exact words were, "You're not doing what my ex did. She used to say she was out with friends, but really she was just cheating on me." I told him I'm not her. He said, "Yeah, but I can't unsee what I've seen." So I don't push. Even though I love dancing, I don't go. I stay home, wait for his texts, make dinner sometimes, and watch Twitch while I clean or relax. One of my favorite streamers is Moist Oven. His humor is dry, weird, calming, and he's got this monotone way of narrating the strangest stories that somehow soothes me when I feel anxious. But my boyfriend? He absolutely hates Moist Oven. I'm not exaggerating. It's like irrational rage levels of hate. He calls him names, incel, fake alpha, dweeb on steroids. He said before, guys like him shouldn't be famous. I've tried asking him why, and it always comes back to looks or undeserved fame. He says he hates men who look like that and think they're funny, or get famous for nothing. It's weird and uncomfortable, but I usually just let it slide because fighting over a streamer feels ridiculous. The thing is, when my boyfriend is out, usually late into the night, and I'm lying there in bed alone, I can't sleep. I just can't. The silence feels too loud. My anxiety creeps in. So I started putting on Moist Oven's videos quietly, just something in the background to settle my nerves and help me drift off. It helped. It's like white noise for my brain. One night, he came home around 2:30 a.m., saw my phone still lit up with a stream playing, and completely lost it. I was half asleep, groggy, but I remember him grabbing the phone, shutting it off and saying, "Why are you watching that loser again?" I tried to explain that it helps me fall asleep when he's not home, but he wouldn't hear it. He just kept ranting about how watching men like that behind his back was disrespectful and how he couldn't believe I'd waste my time on internet trash. I didn't even respond. I just laid there, curled up, feeling small. It's not just about Moist Ovenal. It's how he talks about people, especially men. He's judgmental, especially about appearance. He's always picking apart the way other guys look, almost like he's projecting some kind of insecurity. He's incredibly confident in his own looks, but he can't stand anyone else being seen as attractive or charismatic, especially if they're online and have a following. I love my boyfriend. I do. He makes me feel like I matter. He says he loves me in a way no one else has before. But I'm also starting to feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I can't fall asleep watching a harmless stream. I can't go out dancing, even though he does. I can't question his habits without it turning into an argument, but he can question mine like it's his job. And yeah, I know snooping through someone's phone or having strict rules in a relationship isn't okay. But sometimes I wonder if it's just protective or if it's something else entirely. If it's control. I don't know. That whole conversation about me trying to cheat with Moist Oven happened about a week ago. And even now, writing it out, it still doesn't feel real. It's absurd. But at the same time, it's not new. It's just the latest incident in a growing pile of accusations, insecurities, and me walking on eggshells. After we talked, I was drained, completely, and emotionally wrung out. I thought I was doing the right thing by compromising. I told him I'd stop watching Charlie's videos, not even in the background while I cleaned. I told my friends I wouldn't go clubbing with them, even though I really wanted to. They were excited about this gothic club they've been going to, the kind of place I'd probably love, but I backed out. I didn't tell them the full reason, just said something vague about not being up for it. I didn't want to seem like the person who was controlled in their relationship. But that's what it was. That's what it is. After I made those decisions, he seemed a little better for a few days. Calmer, maybe. He still threw jabs now and then, like when my friends texted me about a streamer meme and I laughed, he made a snide remark about me, probably imagining it was from Charlie. But I brushed it off. I told myself he was just still dealing with insecurity and needed time. I was trying to be understanding. Because, yeah, he does have serious self-esteem issues. He's been open about how his ex-fiancée cheated on him, how she'd lie and sneak around behind his back. I get that betrayal like that can leave scars. Deep ones. And I really tried to be patient, to make him feel like I was different. That he could trust me. But no amount of reassurance is ever enough. Because last night he just disappeared. No warning, no update, nothing. Said he was going out after work with coworkers for a quick drink. Totally normal. He's done that before. But by midnight, I hadn't heard anything. I sent a text. Hey, you okay? No reply. That turned into another. And another. By 2 a.m., I was refreshing my phone every few minutes. My thoughts spiraled. What if something happened to him? What if he was in an accident? What if he needed help? By 5 a.m., I was panic calling. Over and over. No answer. I texted him again and again. Nothing. I didn't sleep. I just sat on the couch, staring at the door, replaying everything. Did we have a fight I forgot? Did I miss a sign that something was wrong? Was he hurt? Did he even care that I was scared out of my mind? He came home around 2 p.m. the next day. That's 16 hours with zero contact. He looked normal. A little hungover maybe. But not apologetic. Not like someone who realized they left their girlfriend worried sick all night. He just tossed his keys on the counter like nothing had happened and casually said, "Phone died." I stared at him. That's it? That's your excuse? He shrugged. Yeah. You're overreacting. I lost it. I told him how scared I was. How I thought something terrible had happened. How I was 1 second away from calling hospitals and police stations. How he could have at least borrowed someone's phone to let me know he was okay. And, do you know what he said? That's your problem, not mine. That stung more than I can put into words. It wasn't just the 16 hours of silence. It wasn't just the casual attitude when he came back. It was the complete and utter lack of empathy. Like my panic didn't even register. Like it was annoying to him that I cared too much. And then somehow he flipped the whole thing back onto me again. You were probably just watching your little boyfriend all night anyway. I blinked. What are you even talking about? Moist oven. Charlie. Whatever the hell his name is. Don't act like you weren't thinking about him while I was gone. I was speechless. Again? After everything? I reminded him, again, that I haven't watched a single video since we talked. That I even gave up plans with friends because of how he felt. That I've done everything I possibly could to prove that I'm committed to him. And yet somehow, in his mind, I'm still plotting some imaginary affair with a guy I've never met and barely watch. And then he said it, the real gut punch. You don't even find me attractive. You'd rather be with that skinny little dwarf with YouTube money. My heart broke. I told him I do find him attractive. That I've always made him feel loved, desired. That I've never once made fun of his body or his looks. In fact, I've gone out of my way to tell him how much I love the way he looks. But it didn't matter. Because he doesn't believe me. Because, no matter what I say, he's already decided I want someone else. That I'm lying. That I'm just waiting for the chance to replace him with someone who's taller, or leaner, or richer, or more famous. That's when I realized this isn't about moist critical. It never was. It's about control. He doesn't want a partner. He wants someone who constantly proves their loyalty, every hour, every day, by shrinking their world down for him. He wants me to cut off friends, hobbies, fun, interests, not because they're bad, but because he doesn't feel good about himself. And he wants me to sit still and wait for his insecurities to go away, like they're my responsibility to fix. Last night, he disappeared for 16 hours. 16 hours. No texts, no calls, no location sharing, nothing. I spiraled. I sat on the couch staring at my phone, refreshing our last text thread over and over, watching the little, last scene, icon stay frozen in time. I thought maybe something bad happened. Like actually bad, a car accident, a hospital, a mugging. Tampa isn't exactly the safest city in the world. I called him again and again. Spam called, actually. 15 missed calls from me on his phone by the end of it. I wasn't being clingy. I was scared. And I had no one else down here to check on him. When he finally came back this morning, it was like he had just stepped out for milk. Turns out, he had gone over to a friend's place, gotten drunk, and spent the entire night venting about me. About my obsession with other men. About how I mentally cheat on him by watching streamers, specifically attractive ones. About how I stare at them for hours, but apparently never look at him the same way. He didn't apologize for disappearing. He didn't explain why he didn't text. Instead, he dropped a bomb. He thinks we need to take a break. Just like that. He said he felt disrespected. That my behavior is mentally unhealthy and that a good girlfriend wouldn't stare at other men the way you do. He literally said, "You need to get yourself in check." I just sat there, numb. Because what even is there to say to that? This whole situation, this weird spiral into jealousy and projection, has gone from frustrating to downright surreal. Over a streamer. A guy I barely even follow. A guy I've never met and don't fantasize about and frankly don't think about unless I'm washing dishes and his video autoplays in the background. And now, I'm alone in bed. Again. He's back at his friend's place. I don't even know when he'll be back. Or if he'll be back. My mind is running a marathon while my body is frozen. I keep wondering, am I a bad girlfriend? Did I actually do something wrong? I feel like I'm being punished for a crime I didn't even know I committed. How was I supposed to know watching streamers would push his buttons? He never told me it upset him, not until the whole moist critical thing blew up. And even then I backed off. I stopped watching. I canceled on my friends. I tried. But I guess that wasn't enough. And honestly, I don't know if anything will ever be enough for him. The thing is, I know how deeply insecure he is. He's talked about it before, the body image stuff, how his ex hurt him, how he feels invisible or unwanted sometimes. And I've always tried to be gentle with that. I tell him he's handsome all the time. I hold him. I listen. I see him. But he acts like I'm the villain in some story he wrote in his head, the heartless girlfriend who drools over Twitch streamers and leaves him to rot in the background. It's not true. But his brain believes it. And he treats me like it's fact. Now I'm stuck in this weird purgatory. I don't want to leave Tampa. I've only been here 6 months, and it finally started to feel like home. But I can't afford to live here on my own. Rent is brutal, and I don't have anyone I can crash with. Going back to my parents feels like a step backward I'm not ready for. This city was supposed to be a fresh start, a place I could grow into myself, explore, live. And now that future feels like it's unraveling because my boyfriend believes I'm betraying him every time I glance at a screen. I don't know what to do. I love him. I really do. Or at least, I love the version of him I used to know before all this. The version who made me laugh, who watched streams with me, who told me I helped him feel safe. That guy isn't gone. Not completely, but now he's buried under suspicion and passive aggression and silence. This relationship feels like I'm constantly paying emotional rent just to keep the peace. Every compromise I make becomes a new baseline. Every reassurance I give fades within a day. And now I'm wondering, is this even sustainable? How do I fix something when I'm the only one trying? I never thought I'd be afraid to turn on YouTube or go out with friends because of how it might be twisted. I never thought I'd be crying into my pillow at 2 a.m., wondering how watching a streamer became the breaking point of my relationship. I feel like I'm disappearing, like I'm slowly trading my autonomy for the illusion of security. Like if I just give up one more thing, he'll finally feel okay. But there's always something else. Someone else to compare me to. Another thing I'm not allowed to enjoy. Maybe I'm not a bad girlfriend. Maybe I'm just a person who's being made to feel like one, over and over, until I can't tell the difference anymore. I don't want to lose him. But I don't want to lose myself either. And right now, it feels like I can't have both. What should I do? What would be best for me? I will be grateful to you if any of you can tell me any opinion or solution if you have gone through this kind of something.